afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's Bastyr AOM Sports Medicine Club. My name is Daniel, and I'll be your charioteer today through some techniques from seated Tuina. We'll look at some things that you can do with your patient in a seat in front of you. We'll also look at some stress management techniques as best we can. And if we have time, we'll look at some stretching techniques, because I know that was of interest to the club. Are there any questions about anything before we begin? Okay, so from my perspective, one of the benefits of this club, and we've talked about it before, is the opportunity to, one, work on bodies using body working techniques, which is something you won't get a lot of exposure to in any other classes here. And the second one is to expand your opportunities to look at tongue and pulse, right? Because that's, if you do traditional Chinese medicine, tongue and pulse are objective findings. There are CAT scan, there are MRI, there are blood work tests all wrapped up into one, so they're very important. So we encourage everybody that best you can look at the tongue, take the pulse, and get some hands-on body work. So, presuming we've done that, because we're going to do this on Thursday, right? We're going to go upstairs and set up the chairs and kind of treat some folks up there. So when they come up, get a name, get their chief complaint, look at their tongue, take their pulse, and then start your routine. So you should be able to do all that in 60 seconds, something like that. All right, so the three phases of Tuina we talked about before are opening, treatment, and closing phase. All right, this is review. During the opening phase, we want to use relatively safe, not particularly aggressive techniques to get the patient used to you and to kind of warm them up to your touch. And in particular, it's important to do that when they first meet you. You don't want to be dropping your people's elbow from the top ropes on somebody who just came into your clinic for the first time. So we want to kind of ease into it. So there's just some gentle, softer touch techniques that you can use on the traps and the shoulders and the neck to just get them relaxed. So what I'm doing right now is I'm clenching. You guys are familiar with clenching. Clenching is where we take the pads of the fingers and move them together. It's a pretty gentle technique. And I'm just clenching across the traps. You guys know what acupuncture channel is I'm touching up here? Anything else?
Maybe SI.
Yeah, and the SI too, right, my thumb. So I need to turn around just a little bit so they can see. So my thumbs at the same time are pressing into what would be the scapula and the small intestine channel at the same time. And on the neck, same thing, I'll clench into the neck. So in Tuina, we always like to have both hands working. So it's easy and incorrect to do something like this, where I just have one hand doing a technique and this hand is just here to pick my nose. That's not good for a couple of reasons. One of which is because picking your nose is not cool while you're doing body work. All right, so hopefully she's kind of warming up to the idea that we're going to do some body work. Everybody's different in terms of what they're comfortable with for getting body work done. So you just have to be aware and sensitive to your patient's needs. And also, it's good to check in with them regularly. How are we doing? How's my touch? Is it too much? And just check in and make sure that everything is okay. And that, it's not a big deal. You'll get, you'll be able to sense, and with good communication, you'll be able to know when it's too much. So then I'm going to move into chafing. It's a little bit deeper than the clenching I was just doing. But most folks are going to report that this is a very good feeling here. How's the pressure?
Good. It's very warming.
Yeah. We talk about generating heat with these kind of frictive techniques. You can really feel what that means, right? Now, of note, her traps are here, but I'm using my thumb at the same time. So I'm rubbing back and forth, or chafing we call it, with my palm, but I'm also using the edge of my thumb at the same time to dig in. So this is just my fingers, and this is with my thumb. You feel the difference?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to switch, and from this motion, I'm going to roll up with my thumbs. Right on the ESG. How's that? Do what?
The erector spinae group that we're looking at.
Yes, yes. This is where you make a patient for life right here with this technique. And now I'm going to come up to the trap and do a little bit more aggressive clenching. Not too much more. She's not screaming in pain, but it's more than it was just a few minutes ago. And into the neck. Notice I've got one hand on the traps working about GB21, doing the same technique as I go up and down on the neck. Both hands in motion. And switch. But still clenching, not grasping. So we still haven't done too much by way of aggressive. So I'm going to go back to resting my fingers and palms on the traps. I'm going to go back to using my thumbs on the ESGs. So we went up a minute ago. Now I'm going to go in and out like this, up and down the ESGs. Down. You can also vary your stroke from the pad to the tip. As you go up and down, you can get more pressure out of the tip. So there's what the tip feels like. And then there's the pad. Feel the difference?
Yes. So it's the tip of your finger you're using for grasping to
Correct.
to do it,
Yeah,
right?
so that would be
It's
grasping.
a lot more, so it's stronger.
Yeah, so that would be, that's grasping. A much more aggressive application there. Okay, and so now we probably have met the requirement for the opening phase. You've probably warmed up and relaxed and we're ready to do some actual work. So that's what you would do if it was your patient, but for what we're going to do on Thursday, we're not really treating anybody, we're just kind of doing a midterms thing, right? So that will factor in. So now I'm going to do rubbing. So, rubbing has no pattern, so anything you do with rubbing is correct. The only real characteristic about rubbing is that it's not very deep pressure. So this is all rubbing. 2 hands. Now we'll do some actual work. So she's all warmed up and we're ready to do some actual work. So you have to kind of decide how you're going to approach the patient. And maybe one approach is, because we're doing a non-specific thing, maybe go regional. Maybe we'll start at the head and go down, or maybe we'll start the traps and go both ways. Kind of have to approach it from some kind of game plan. But the points that you want to get to, you guys already know. So things like gallbladder 21, you know, because it's good for stress, right? Things like in-tom, you guys know in-tom? Is a calming point. You know the Sishin song? The 4 smart points? Up here. So those are good to do for this kind of event. Large intestine 4. You guys obviously know large intestine 4 is a good point. Good for head things, but also good for kind of moving the chi around and easily accessible from your position. Liver 3 would be good too, but we're not really set up to do the feet. But that might be another thing that you could consider in a different environment. The ears are good points. The earlobe, and we'll look at some different ways to work the ears.